Okay, this is the film Viva for Harry. We're going to be talking about the process you went on for your film project that you've just completed now. Can you tell me 2 moments that were really successful during the process of you creating the film? What your first example? What was really a moment that was really good? That it was really good at developing the story or the way you filmed it, whatever. What do you think?
Moment that was really good, I'd say, is time frame in which we managed to get it done.
Okay.
Because it was really it wasn't useful, but it just made sure that we were getting on time with it. So it was in somewhat successful, but then at the same time it's we still had that limit, but we managed to pull through it, so it was good.
And then did you plan within the time frame you have, or what you were going to do when?
So we didn't have specific dates or whatever we're going to do.
Yeah.
We just went with what the weather was like outside, seeing if we could do it outside.
Okay.
And then if not, we'd stay inside and do the scenes that were needed to be done. But other than that, it was quite simple.
Okay, great. And what's your second example?
My second example...
That was successful.
Oh, that's a tough one. I'd probably say most of the casting was in most of the time, so it wasn't difficult for filming to be done when needed. And if anything, if there was a change of plan and all that, there was always a chance we could just go to the next scene and do whatever. But it worked well.
So even when you had to adapt the work, it was easy, everyone was on board?
Yeah, so it wasn't all in the same, it wasn't all set out days of what days we're doing. It was just whatever days was able to do it. But we were able to do it most days because everyone was in.
Okay, so challenges. I'd like 2 examples of what were challenges and how you overcame them during the process.
Challenges were definitely the weather, first of all.
Yeah.
Going outside, it was, especially in the start of January, still in winter, it was cold and the weather was bipolar. But
how did the weather affect your filming then?
So because with the scenes and that, we had if we were filming one scene, we'd have to stick at whatever weather that was. And with my one, it was no rain, no nothing. It was mainly sunny. And when we did our first shot on one day, it was like that. And then the next time we did it, it was still rainy.
Right, okay.
But
it's about continuity then, isn't it?
So then with the other scenes of Bella and Sienna running, we had that scene of it pouring down. So it was really more effective that it was different in that time frame, because as soon as they did their scene, we went to do my scene and this sun came out and it was barely raining. So it was easy, but it was just the difficulties of the weather changing.
Yeah. Okay, and what's your second challenge?
Second challenge was definitely probably, I don't know, it was probably not learning of lines, but it was mainly improvised in some way, because it wasn't stuck to the script. Because it would in some ways it is good, because we brought more ideas in as we were going along.
Yeah.
But we weren't really sticking to what we originally planned. But at the same time, that's basically what a normal film is.
No, not really. But not all the time.
Well, not all the time, but
it was.
Yeah.
Was it tricky developing the story as well as filming all at the same time? Was that the challenge there, and trying to make sure it all makes sense?
Yeah, because we had we just went with whatever day suited best.
Right.
We didn't really plan ahead of what scenes were going in which order, because we were struggling to find what scene we were going to do for the last. Was it Chloe's? No, it was Bella's death scene and all that, because we didn't actually plan how they came bumped into each other.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else is more plannedly set out in their scenes.
Fine. So how did you overcome that then? Because it was quite a challenge developing the stories you went along and not planning the scenes. How did you manage that situation?
So with the time frame, obviously, because we had a lot of different scenes, we had a lot of footage, and we were able to use the different footage and work around it, so to make it less obvious that it was we missed that bit of the scene, or we didn't think through this one. like we just changed it to make it our own, but make it more simpler so everyone knows what's going on during the time.
Okay. Were you pleased with the final product?
I have not seen the final product itself because it's still in the making,
Okay.
but I was pleased with with the scenes that were made,
Okay.
because like as bad as it was filming in the rain and all that for Bella and Sienna's scene, it was like good because as soon as we finished their scene we went to my scene and the weather changed and it went back to like how I like was meant to have my scene in.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was very different, but it was just like, it all worked out in the end.
Good. If you had 2 more days to work on it, what would you develop?
Probably the timing that we had, because we just kept adding on scenes and all that and didn't actually think it through of what we were doing. Probably just, if we had 2 more days, I think we could probably develop the storyline a bit more.
Okay. In what way would you do it?
Probably giving a backstory to each character, because it is like a comedy sort of horror in some way, because it's not really something to be like angry about, a yogurt, but that's what we chose and it's worked out in some way.